Hello and welcome for the final Amiami Recap of 2021. From what I can tell, December has been a pretty crazy month for pre-orders. I know there's two figures that I was very close to pre-ordering. I haven't yet, but I may still do it. And just assembling everything ready for this video, there looks to be a lot of good stuff. So, let's go. Damn, Lalah out here looking sick. This is a really nice figure. I especially like the composition of everything. You've got this very alien looking base, but the colors and the way the dress is sculpted complements it beautifully, I think. That smooth transition from the bluey greens up to the yellow, both in those tendrily bits and on the dress, just look really nice. I've always kind of liked the Gundam Girl stuff from MegaHouse, even though I clown on them for everything else. And it seems like they've got another winner here. Yeah, it's just cool. And I think anyone who likes the original Gundam should appreciate this one. It's very nice. This Nendo's 5,000 yen and literally has no accessories. None. Nothing. She's got an acrylic circle and then an acrylic rectangle with philo on it. That's it. She's got nothing. Nothing. 5,000 yen. 5,000 yen for this. What happened to Nendoroids? Seriously. Mistakes have been made. Goodsmile has dropped the ball. It's embarrassing. It really is. The Philo and Raftalion Nendos were so good. But this is just sad. So sad. I feel like it's been a little while since we've last seen something from Alta. But here is Formidable from Azur Lane. It seems like they're really only pumping out Azur Lane figures these days, but that's fine with me. I like those designs. She's beautiful, but so expensive. Ooh. I think even by Alta's standards for pricing things, this seems like a lot. I think the thing that makes this impressive and gives it that little Alta flair is the hair sculpt. I think at first it's kind of unassuming, and then when you start looking at it, there's just hair everywhere. Her twin tails are draped all over and under and around this runway part on her back. I don't know what you call this on an aircraft carrier. Is it still a runway if it's on a boat? I don't know. Otherwise, it's just a fairly standard maid outfit done very well. But yeah, I like it. Also comes with these two planes. They stand on these rods and look very tacky, so I just wouldn't even bother displaying them, which is sort of a shame. But it is what it is, and all things considered, she looks pretty damn nice. I hope this isn't a spoiler. For a lot of this Jujutsu Kaisen stuff, I'm just going in blind, basically. But this is a $600 figure by FuRyu. While this fella may look small, he is 1/7 scale. So this whole thing is massive. It's just a scary amount of money to be paying for something. This crazy demon thing, it looks a bit too clean. Shouldn't these sort of demonic looking things be a bit more, I don't know, gross? It'd be more fleshy or bony or, I don't know, it kind of looks like a white Evangelion with tentacle hair. It looks sick though, I really do like it. Under this lighting and everything, all the muscles and little veiny bits, they all sort of pop and look really nice, which is definitely something you want to see when it's this expensive. Yeah, I like this. I think it's expensive, but probably justified if you really like it. I think if you place it next to any other Jujutsu Kaisen scale, they're all gonna look a bit unimpressive standing next to it. And I'd love to see a size comparison of this once it's released. I think that'll be fun. Oh my god, I legit thought this was Ram and Ram, but it's Rimuru and Milim. Oh, how I nearly started talking about the wrong characters. The colors got me. I feel like I've seen an Aqua figure that looks like this, especially color-wise. The thing about these eStream figures is that I don't necessarily like how deep they go, if that makes sense. You've got a bit of base at the back, and you've got this whole effect part up at the front. And it's kind of just a lot of extra space. And maybe that's just me talking as someone who has zero space left for anything. I'm I could never put this anywhere. But for someone who's probably more space abled, you're probably okay with it. I don't mind the backing plate to the base, but I just think it's kind of weird they write the character's name there when it's hard to read, and maybe it'll be different seeing it in person. Why bother? Like, there's already so much blue in this figure, I didn't need more blue in the background. Out of the two, I definitely prefer Milim. I think her effect and her pose are much better, much nicer. Going back to the space thing, I feel like she kind of makes use of her space a bit better. And I think the color scheme and the fire on those fans kind of tie together the color scheme much nicer in this one than the overwhelming amount of blue for Rimuru. I like the gradation on the fans as well. And they sort of look like dual discs from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is kind of funny. And I think what like really holds this... She have a mask. Looks like one of those RGB Ryza ones with the glowing thing. I also way prefer the outfit design on this as well. I think the one thing that really ties this whole thing together is this nice blue accent that kind of goes around the whole figure. I think because it stands out so much, it provides some really nice framing around Milim herself. And I think it works really nicely to add some extra colour, especially with her blue eyes in there. So yeah, that's the two slime figures from eStream. I would definitely check out Milim if you're interested, but her figures are always really good. Rimuru, I'm kind of not really feeling that much. Okay, so this is one of the two figures I almost pre-ordered this month. So this is Asuka from the Radio Eva series, which is kind of like the Evangelion characters just wearing normal clothes, like streetwear, sort of modern clothes. This is the second Asuka, and I've really enjoyed recently with figure companies doing like version 2s of figures because they've been looking so much better. While I enjoyed the first Asuka and I was like hyped from her reveal at like OneFest, whenever that was, I kind of mellowed on it because her face turned out not looking that great. But this Asuka, I love. It's so good. It just works. She's got the Fila shirt. She's got the, I don't know, Nike, Jordan, Air Jordan, Adidas shoes. Please stop me from talking. I don't know fashion. She got like this nerve hat back here. Probably my favorite part is how luscious that hair is. Text on her legs. Look at the text on her legs. I love her face as well. Like, everything about this figure is hitting on every level for me. I hope everyone else is as hyped about this as I am. There's also a different version, which cost a little bit more, but it's like the special grayscale version. But personally though, if I do end up pre-ordering this, it'll definitely be this normal version. eStream must have been hungry for everyone's Christmas wallets, as they also put up pre-orders for this Ultria Lancer figure. For one, I think her pose is just really awkward and stiff. I don't think this is very good. I think it's kind of below what eStream is capable of. The way her legs are positioned, it feels wrong. And then on top of that, you've got this like huge, grandiose, stupid throne, or whatever this is. In my opinion, it's an eyesore. I think it's way too big. It's way too much like two of the same color. Which is kind of a shame because I really like the way they've done her face, and she really has some nice colors to work with. It's just a shame that, you know, it kind of looks like that. So yeah, not for me. I feel like it was close to being really, really good, and then they've kind of just faltered with the base and the pose. Wonderful Works has this figure of MDR from Girls Frontline. I really, really like this dress. I think it's very pretty. I think applying this purpley, bluey highlight to the mid part of the dress just adds a lot to making it look that much more visually interesting. Like, if this dress was just like matte and black, a lot of that detail would get missed. But since it's kind of, I don't know, glossy and it's got all these highlights on it, it really brings out the detail. I really like this hair sculpt as well. Like, that is one nice swirly ponytail. I think my only negative for this is the face, just because 1, I don't like winky faces, 2, I don't like tongue poking out faces. But for you, maybe it makes it better. So yeah, that's a cool one. I really enjoy what they've done with the dark colours. This is the second figure that I wanted to pre-order, which is Max Factory's Ryza from Atelier Ryza 1. I love this. I love the initial reveal at One Fest, and then I think I didn't really like the painter prototype, but now seeing it again with all the spin around pictures, I think they've done a really, really good job here. I don't know how to describe it. I think I enjoy the composition a lot. She's surrounded by like this natural stuff, and all of the colors, including her, have sort of this earthly sort of tone. And the pose also feels pretty natural to me. On top of that, you've got some really nice shading, like on this leather boot. Her hair has this gradient that fades out right at the tips. And how can I not love this little red birdie? He's so cute. I love birds. I think a lot of figures we see kind of take the base too literally from the source artwork that they're usually basing this off. And as a result, sometimes that doesn't translate that well into 3D space as a figure. So it seems like they've added some stuff to the space to make it feel a bit more realized and full. And I think that goes a long way when you compare it to this other Ryza that feels very empty. So yeah, I really love this. I feel like I am the Ryza guy now. I don't know. I already have one. Do I need another? Should I pre-order her? Let me know in the comments why or why not. Yo, what the hell? Why is she farting in that huge cocktail? What is going on? Between Azur Lane and Idolmaster, yeesh. Alta's never doing anything else, are there? This hair braid sculpt is so intricately detailed. It's kind of crazy. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I want Alta to do something with color instead of another black and white figure. I am pretty interested in how this blue feathery part turns out. It's a lot like Mythos's Consort U, which is huge and blue, and it's kind of this blue part as a figure. I'd like to see how those compare. I'd like to see if Mythos's shading and everything stacks up to Alta, or if Alta's really as good as I keep saying they are. Okay, I have no idea how to pronounce this character, whether it's Caenis or Caenis. Either way, it doesn't matter. This figure is awesome. We saw this at the last One Fest, it was unpainted. Now it's painted. Now it's up for pre-order. How cool is that? I love these colors. They're so nice. Well, except maybe for this gold, it's kind of too yellow. But the white and the red and her skin, oh my god, it's good. Look at that face. She's look. That's a good face sculpt. This face reminds me of when I saw Alta's John Alta face. And even they couldn't, like, do that perfectly. I don't know about Goodsmile, but I wish them luck. This is definitely the most interesting Fate Grand Order character that I've seen since I quit. I feel like if this came from a different manufacturer, it'd be even more expensive. So I thank Goodsmile for sort of keeping this realistic. I think this design is cool enough to just have a bajillion figures made of her. So, looks good. Really like it. Is this character wearing anything? Can I show this? I'm going to talk about it anyway. This is PA15 from Girls Frontline by Hobby Max, and she's a bit of a gamer girl apparently. I really like the colours here. I like the light blue, the white, and this light wooden colour down on the base. And I do like the whole gamer girl thing. It's cute. They've legit given her the Animal Crossing Switch, like that's the Joy-Con colours for that version. This desk setup and everything, super cute. I love it. This translucent shirt as well is also super interesting. I didn't realize initially that those were hearts on the shirt, but hey, kinda works. And yeah, I don't know. This whole setup just looked really comfy. I'd be slightly more into it if, like, she wasn't wearing see-through clothing, but, you know, other than that, I love it. I really like it. It's a great concept, I think. Okay, like, maybe half of the comments on the last video were talking about this figure because I hated it. That's because apparently in the anime this figure exists, like in the story, it's part of the thing. All I want to say is, just because it's in the anime and it's like a canon figure, doesn't make it a good figure. That being said, Kotobukiya has put out new pictures for this. I think it does look slightly better. And you can see the seam line definitely is much more well hidden than it was previously. So I don't know if whether that confirms it is or isn't cast off. People seem to be buying this, assuming that it is. And I hope for those people that it actually is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. And even then, the only other Kotobukiya figure I can think of that has like cast-offable parts was not very good. People flamed it for the cast-off being bad. So, it is what it is. Wing have really been pumping out these Eurocamp 1/7 scales. I'm not sure if Anna is the last one or not. This looks gross. Did they just have like a Windows XP background on the go, ready for these photos? I like it just because it's cute. I think the only issue I really have with it is that for the price, she's kind of boring. It's just kind of annoying that Wing has priced these like a tad too high to make them really collectible. But at least the textures are different. Her jacket's a bit like poofy and shiny compared to everything else. And it's a figure that just makes me happy. So imagine being me. You wake up on Christmas morning, you check your phone, you see Among Us, red, cyan, and black, and you die a little inside. That's what my life is like. I still kind of can't believe that these exist. And I think the most surprising thing is that they chose cyan and black as the two additional colors. Part of me like viscerally hates that these exist. And then part of me is like, haha, sus, funny. I saw someone mention it, maybe in a Discord somewhere, that these kind of just look like the Nendoroid facepart cases, except they're like 4 times the price. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what I was expecting from Among Us Nendoroid, but I'm not paying $35 for a meme. And I really wonder if Among Us is still going to be like half relevant in the meme culture by September when these launch. Goodsmile Shanghai has this punishing Grey Raven figure, Lucia, Crimson Abyss. I really like this character design. It reminds me of something sort of like Arknights, but not as cool as Arknights. I guess it's sort of like the Caenis one, right? Where it's a lot of white with some red accents. I guess that's just something that appeals to me. There's definitely a ton of details in here on her arms. I guess she's got like robot hands or something. And there's a ton of like little decals and things going on here. It's really cool. Adds to the realism and detailiness. And I think the base is really well done as well. Like, it's just enough to have something cool to prop her up, but doesn't detract from her at all and kind of adds to the setting a little bit. Given what this looks like, and that is a 1/7 scale, I would have assumed the price would be around 200 instead of 150. Seems like a good deal, but maybe no one cares about this. Speaking of Arknights, I didn't even know this was next up. Silver Ash. And now this is a cool base. I love that fence in the background. That is cool as. This pole is kind of whatever, but I really enjoy what the lamp and this fence really bring to the, I don't know, ambiance of the figure, if I could say that. He's a classy looking dude, and it makes him look more classy. Seems like a little pouch case for his cat. What? It's a nice looking bird. I really enjoy his like golden scarf as well. It's really cool. I think it really helps balance out the color of the figure, and I really like it. This one as well, sort of cheaper than I'd expect, but I guess here's a 1/8 scale. Seems like Goodsmile Shanghai is pumping out good figures at good prices. Back to big regular Goodsmile company. This figure is pretty unique, and I've seen it progress through all the stages, through One Fest and everything, and I've never really had a solid opinion on it because it is kind of weird. The base has like this optional acrylic plate behind it, which is kind of weird, but also kind of cool, and it also provides this wreath for the background, which I think looks really good from front on, and then kind of strange from side on. Her legs are also cut off at the knees, and if she does have hands, well, you can't see them, so they may as well be cut off as well. This character also has like a bunch of tattoos, which you rarely see on a figure. The detailing on the dress as well just seems like insane. There's so many little parts of this sculpt. It's weird, it's an anomaly. I think there's a certain type of person that this figure is going to appeal to, and as soon as you see it, you're going to know if it's you or not. It's also a figure that feels more like a piece of art than most things we see. This is the sort of thing, like you could have this printed on a shirt, or you could have this like on a poster, and I think that would be cool. As a figure, I don't know, but I'm sure some people will really enjoy this. Here we have Dido from Azur Lane by Need. And as typical with Azur Lane stuff, we have the cheap version, the expensive version. So the expensive one comes with the extra boat parts, which look really cool, and the cheap one doesn't, which is kind of sad. So I would kind of always recommend going with the cooler one, even if it's way more expensive than it should ever be. I really like the head and hair sculpt on this. I think that's really nice. And I can't talk about this without acknowledging, like, what the hell is this top? Why are these poking out down here? This is weird. This is like reverse cleavage. I don't understand. Who comes up with that? I really like the grey with this like goldy coppery accent on it. I think those colors work really, really well together. And I think as a whole, this figure looks really, really nice. But that's just my Azur Lane bias popping in there, I think. There's been a lot of Azur Lane this month, and also a lot of Alta to go along with it. But this is the last Alta and Azur Lane figure this month, and we will take a good look. So this is Graf Zeppelin, some sort of beach version, I guess, because why not? And damn, look at that hair. She's like a hedgehog. I really like it when they do translucent hair tips. I know that's not for everyone, but it's something I enjoy. I think it makes it look nice. That's really the whole backside of the figure. She really hedgehogging it up. But the front is super nice as well. I think first off, her face is really pretty. I love those eyes. And I really appreciate the detail on this flower on her head. I think that's really pretty as well. Apparently it can be removed though and replaced with the hat. I wouldn't use the hat, but Alta's cool for always including those little things, little interchangeable parts that nobody probably ever cares about. I think the stretchy sculpt part here on the bikini top is really good. And especially the shading there to get that looking real and not look really dumb is very good and a testament to Alta's quality. Overall, I really do like this figure. It's not something that I would personally buy, but it's definitely something that I would feel comfortable recommending. This is definitely not what I expected when I saw the unpainted prototype at One Fest, but I'm very surprised. I wasn't expecting red, white, and gold, but I think it works really well. This white part on the shield looks like a stormtrooper, and you can't change my mind. The sculpt and detailing on this red rope looks really good. It almost looks like actually like rope. That's really cool. Sculpt on everything else, looking good, looking good. I think this is one of those figures that looks so different and unique. It might just attract buyers who have no idea what or who it is. And I think that's pretty cool. I hope any gift can deliver on this level of quality. I'm not usually super into most things Union Creative does, but I think they've chosen a good illustration this time to base their figure off of. I really enjoyed the pattern on this red ribbon. And I guess this whole thing's supposed to be a wedding dress figure. There's like enough to it and enough red accents on it that, I don't know, it doesn't feel very wedding dressy at this point. And yeah, I like it. There's some good gradation here on both the hair and the ears. And everything about this sculpt just looks really well done. It's really surprising from Union Creative since I don't like their stuff that much, but hey, they picked a winner here. And I guess it kind of reminds me of Nia from Xenoblade a bit, so it wins points in that department. I think this might be one of the most boring eStream figures I've seen. If you covered up the manufacturer's name on this, I probably would have guessed MegaHouse. I assume this is just referencing something in the movie. I haven't seen it, so I don't get it. And so to me, this pose and everything, it just looks a bit weak, looks a bit dumb. I think the sculpting and interconnection of both characters works really well though. But I really can't get past this fellow sticking out his sword being like, "Meh." I think this is a pretty weak one from eStream, and I know they can do better. And it's especially underwhelming after seeing that $600 Jujutsu Kaisen figure earlier on. And then the final figure for the year, which is pretty fitting, is eStream's Crystal Dress Asuna. Crazy as this looks, it doesn't feel as elaborate as the Crystal Dress Ram and Amelia that they did earlier. But it's fine. I was complaining about the colour in those ones being a bit too samey. So I've got the dress itself, which I'm not huge on. I don't think these silver stars really add a whole lot. I'd probably like it more without them if it was just a nice red dress. At the very bottom of the base we have this, which I assume is a reference to something in the show. I haven't watched it. I assume that's Ironcrad or something with the 100 levels, maybe, I don't know. If it is, that's cool. If it isn't, then I have no idea. I'm so clueless. I'm not the biggest fan of the colour on this crescent, but maybe that's also a reference to something. I just don't think it plays that well with the red. That's Asuna Crystal dress version. I don't think it's worth the price, but that's true for a lot of the eStream things. So if this is your jam, don't feel too bad about that. And so whether you think like this base and pose and everything is worth spending like twice as much, it's up to you. Personally not for me when there's so many other good figures that exist, but definitely may be something for you if you're a fan. As usual, if you'd like to buy anything you've seen in this video, please check out my CD Japan affiliate link, which will be in the description. Each purchase you make will help support the channel financially, which helps me keep making videos like this one. Also, shout out to the 3 people who have seen pre-order this Asuka figure. It's really good. Let's hope it's good. I'm praying for everyone. Now let's wrap it up with the speed round. But I guess he's alright. His hair does look like Deku. I hate that I'm saying that. Please don't buy these Nendos. Come on, look at them. Why are they sitting? Stop it. Don't do it. Also, I can't believe they're doing extra faceplates for the Demon Slayer Nendos, and then having this as the only extra Nezuko faceplate? Like, why? Why not the dot eyes? And the 2021 worst anime figure face goes to Nini Sprankle. What kind of name even is that? Oh my god, they turned Baymax into an anime girl. Wake me up when Alta starts doing Love Live figures again, come on. I like this guy, I think he's cool, I just don't have anything to say about him, okay bye. It's not as good as the other Shura scales, and I don't like the yellow cards. The state of female fantasy armor in current year. Wow, isn't everyone excited for Levi's birthday? Whoa. Why does this exist? Scamp is looking clean, damn! Everyone remember that one video where I said this was from Azur Lane? This figure has a really cute face, but who seriously is buying a random Santa girl figure? Literally no one, I hope. Also, if they missed their December release date, it's gonna be pretty funny when everyone's Santa figure's showing up in like February. I love the flower on the back of this belt. Also one of like the coolest kimono shirt things I've ever seen. Really great sculpting and painting here, I just really dislike how it all comes together. This is me pondering my orb at 3 AM. Okay, so that's a wrap for December and for 2021. I hope you've enjoyed the last year of content I've put out, and I'm super excited to make some fun videos in 2022. As always, if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, I'm now asking you to click the button. This has been the Ando Experience, and I'll catch ya in the next one. Bye!